So today we are chatting about getting to the root cause of your eczema. And this is the whole aim of the game when healing eczema. So you want to be able to get to the root cause and then heal from the inside out and then create a flare-up control blueprint, which is how you manage and control your flare-ups, prevent them essentially. So if you are here and in this group, it's likely that you're struggling with eczema or you know somebody who is. So you've probably been on that eczema roller coaster, which is how I describe that journey of going to a doctor and then getting creams. Eczema comes back, maybe going to the dermatologist, getting more creams, or maybe getting antibiotics, antihistamines, and it's getting your hopes up, and then bang again, you have another flare up, always ending back at square one, which is that frustrating part about all of it. So I was chatting in the other videos. If you haven't tuned in, let me know in the comments if you want me to tag you in some of the other ones. We were chatting about the first steps to healing your eczema, and then also chatting about it's not food, it's you, and how food can be a band-aid, or diets can be a band-aid solution. But with the creams and medications, that outside in approach, that's just suppressing that fire of inflammation inside your body. So what we want to do, it keeps those embers burning. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of those embers. So then when you're come into contact with your triggers, you don't have a flare up. So how we do this is we get to the root cause. So we're not suppressing your symptoms. We're not just suppressing the rashes. We're understanding what's causing them, what's causing that inflammation inside your body. And then that's essentially how we can heal and then control all of your flare-ups. So let me know if you're tuning in now or if you are watching the replay, what you guys have tried, because I always like to know where you guys are at, because that's going to dictate where you go next. So typically it's, like I was saying, it's the creams and medications. And another one, so we were chatting about diet yesterday, but a popular one these days is juicing. And so, you know, you're getting nutrients from that, but the problem with that is that it's not getting to the root cause. And so, like when I work with people, it's typically when people have chronic eczema. So there's always something more going on than that. So if that does work for you, that's great. Probably don't have that much going on, but if you do, then what we need to be doing is looking at what's causing that, because just adding in juicing, or if you're just going on a detox, or if you are like trialing different types of diets, it's good. But what's happening is if you have an issue with your liver, if you have an issue with your gut, if you have an issue with an infection, or hormone imbalance, that's not fixing that, right? So we're adding in nutrients, which is great, if you're not restricting too much, but we're not getting to the root cause. Does that make sense? So the whole idea here, it's like peeling back the layers of the onion. You want to understand, okay, so it's the one symptom, and getting in tune with your body is really important. So we know eczema is a symptom, but what else is happening? So one of the girls who, actually, I was working with her a little while ago now, it's probably about half a year ago. She's a teacher and she had eczema around her face and on her eyes. And whenever it's on your face and it's forward facing, it's always a motivation to get rid of it. Like I had it all up my neck and it crawled. It literally started out here and it crawled all the way up my jaw, all over my eyes. Not an enjoyable experience. So for her, she was so strict with her diet. She had lots of discipline. She had done a lot of out of the box detoxes. She was on candida protocols. She had done everything quote unquote right. So what we did is we were looking and monitored her symptoms for a while. We obviously looked at diet, and then it led us to doing some further testing. So what we found was that, actually, it's quite similar to one of the tests that we just got back today. We found that she had a parasite and bacterial overgrowth that was driving this. So that was her root cause, which we dug even further. And because it's always about peeling back the layers of the onion, that stress for her, which for everybody, was such a big part of the picture as well. So we had looked at, so we addressed the bacterial overgrowth and the parasite. And then as well, we had to address the stress factor too, because if you're always stressed, suppressing your immune system, when it's your immune system suppressed, and that's going to affect your microbiome, that's going to create an imbalance where that's an opportunity for the bad pathogenic bacteria, fungi, parasites to overtake and overgrow the good bacteria. Yeah. So that was her journey, and that's how we got to the root cause with her. And so now we understand, we got rid of that, and now she has her diet back and living a normal life, and she doesn't have to have that embarrassment of going to school every day and thinking that the kids are judging her. Okay, so let me know in the comments if anybody has been on a bit of a similar journey to that, if anybody's had any of those tests done. But by the time I speak to people, they have usually had quite a few tests and have been on a bit of a journey doing all these detoxes and whatnot. So I always like to understand what's worked and what hasn't, because it's all data. Okay, so the big picture when looking at the root cause. So you always want to work upstream, because like I said, it's like peeling back the layers of the onion. So we always start out with symptoms. So we know eczema is one of your symptoms, but there's always something more happening as well. So let's start looking at, what's your digestion like? Are you getting bloating, gas, diarrhea, constipation? If you're female, what's happening in your cycle? Are you getting PMS, lots of pelvic pain, back pain, breast tenderness? Because that's not normal. You shouldn't be getting that. That's signifying a hormone imbalance. Are you highly stressed all the time? Do you have a history of going overseas and you had gastro? Did you maybe have EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, or mono when you were younger? Do you have sensitivities to smell? Do you feel nauseous? So there's all these different symptoms that can pop up. So, and this is why being in tune with your body is really, really important. And like I was saying in one of the other videos, when you have any of these symptoms, it's like the engine light in a car going off. It's saying that your body's yelling out for help. And that's what we want to be addressing and looking at. So that's a good starting point. And I do this with all my clients in the Love Your Skin program. So it's all data. We want to be knowing what's happening on the inside. The next step is looking at your bloods. I recommend everybody. I like to see everybody's blood work because I want to see what's happening to your biochemistry inside. I do typically recommend for most people, pretty much all, to get the GI mapping test. And this is a test for your microbiome, for the microbiota. So we're looking at the PCR fragments of the good and bad bacteria, parasites, any viral infections, fungi, just so we can get a gauge on what's happening in your gut. Because as we know, eczema is a hyperimmune response. So eczema, inflammation, connected. And we know that in your gut, 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So that's always a great place to start. And I don't like to say all because nothing's definite, but most times when we get these tests back, actually 99.9% of the time, there's something that we need to address. I really want to say 100%, but I won't. So those are the gold standard in terms of doing the testing. But looking at the symptoms is a great starting point. So in terms of peeling back the layers of the onion, I wanted to give you this example, and I put it on Instagram a little while ago. So looking at our symptoms, and here's the progression in how we would do that. So let's say, okay, you have eczema. So that's a starting point. We're going to work upstream. So that's your one symptom. And then you have your eczema flares. And then we pinpoint, okay, you're getting really itchy after meals. Okay, so that's saying that might have something to do with food. So then we identify that it's by looking at your food and symptom diary that you're triggered by a food. And so that food isn't the root cause. There's a reason why this healthy food, let's say almonds, let's use that example. Actually, no, let's say avocado, because I see that come up a lot as well. Avocados making you itch. Well, everybody, all these food blogs are saying avocado is one of the superfoods. Well, that's weird. It's because there's something happening inside your body. Most times with the food intolerances, working upstream again, that's connected to leaky gut. Okay, so let's look at your microbiome testing and your GI map. Oh, okay, well, we have leaky gut. So what's happening is that the food particles are getting into your bloodstream, and your body, your immune system doesn't recognize the full food particles. It just recognizes one pearl, but it hasn't been able to break it down, and it's gotten through the gate, tags it as as an invader, creates an immune response to kill it. And that's creating inflammation. So, okay, we have we have eczema, a food intolerance, leaky gut. But that's not the root cause either. We have to keep digging deeper. There's a reason why you have leaky gut, right? Is it because you are eating lots of inflammatory foods? Is it because even if you have parasite or bacterial overgrowth, they can create endotoxins that can create leaky gut? Is it because you've been on a lot of antibiotics, a lot of antihistamines, a lot of medications that's creating leaky gut? Is it because you're highly stressed and you're in your fight and flight all the time, and that suppresses your immune system and can create leaky gut as well? So there's all these different factors that we need to look at. So it's never black and white. There's always a few different things going on. Let me know if that makes sense, if I've lost you. So to get started, a good starting point here is to get in tune with your body. And I've put together a little eczema symptom score test. I have a few other posts as well that you guys have requested, but if this is resonating with you and you think that getting in tune with your body and being able to map your symptoms to a root cause will be helpful, let me know in the comments and I can flick you over that eczema symptom score test to get a better idea of a starting point of where you can start healing from the inside out. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I will chat to you soon.